the thing that I always say, and I was saying the other day, that when you discuss John and the ability to come back, whether in the Uruguay game, in the missed penalty, and the main penalty stage, I like to think of it as starting with the Nations Cup in 2008. So in that tournament, you get heavily criticized. Then in 2010, you go to Angola, and when nobody expects that team to do well, absolutely nobody, you become the guy who, so against against Angola, against Nigeria, you scored 3 goals that were responsible for taking Ghana to the final. Was that your way of saying, don't count me out yet?
Yes, that year, 2010 was I always say, it was my best year in my career. Because after 2008, the hammer had already been done.
So you took some time off for about 6 months to
About 6
completely
months
heal.
because I went to Spain to have the operation. I had an operation, and I was out for like almost 6 months. You know, so I had to just heal myself, and came back. So I started from 2009, late 2009 to 2010. You know, because we had a new coach at that time from club, scoring goals. That was when I regained my form. So going into Angola, I was in the form of my life. No injuries, nothing psychologically, fitness, everything was perfect. I had never been perfect since that was my perfect year. Nothing was wrong. I even came into music, I had a hit. So everything was working for me in 2010. So going into Angola, I remember I did some interviews, and I told the person, me, I'm a prophet. When I'm 100% fit, I predict. So I just said it like I was overconfident. And I told him Ghana will go to the final. And they will see the best out of me. Like I boasted, I was like, when I'm confident, that is what I do. I just say, you know, so.
And it happened. Your combination with Kojo Asamoah was crazy.
Yes.
Corner kick, header, long pass against Angola. The Angola one was the sweetest because they shook us up a bit before that game. Did it mean then that as you were going into the World Cup, you thought, I'm going to have this, I'm going to enjoy this more than anything else?
Yes, going back to 2010, I remember our last training to the start of the tournament, because our first game was against Cote d'Ivoire.
Yeah.
We lost 3-1.
Yeah.
I had a small injury on my muscle again. I was like, not again.
Yeah.
Because that tournament, I saw it coming. So if you could remember that game, I didn't start.
Yeah.
I came on, and then I scored through a penalty.
Yeah.
You know, that was when I was becoming, but everything worked perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we went to the World Cup itself. First game, Serbia. It was in Pretoria, yeah. And then I think when Rustenburg against Algeria, again you scored as well. Then you were unplayable in that World Cup. What was your big motivation?
Yes. During the qualifiers, I always say shout out to Prince Tego. Because after the AFCON, I was having some muscle problems and everything. So there were games that I could have played for Ghana, but because they knew I was very, very tired, they had to exclude me. And then Prince Tego was doing so well for Kosovo.
Yeah.
And then they invited him to the national team. He was scoring.
Yeah.
Prince Tego was scoring during the qualifiers. So I would say in 2010 qualifiers to the World Cup, I wasn't that
involved.
Although I played some games, I scored a couple of goals, but I won't say I was more instrumental in the qualifiers because of my problems. You know, the people, Ghana wanted to, the coach wanted to rest me, you know, for the bigger occasions and stuff. You know, he didn't want to take that risk again.
Yeah.
You know, so Prince stood up, and then he delivered to we qualified to the World Cup.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the World Cup itself, you went in there. Penalty against Serbia, you bury it. Penalty against Australia, you bury it. Did you guys believe at any point that you could go as far as you did in 2010?
We were very, very fit at that time, because if you could remember, we had like 75% or 80% of the under-20s that won the under-20 World Cup in 2009. And because that time we had a lot of injuries in the team. You know, so Milo also had confidence in the team because he had already taken that team to the AFCON.
Yeah.
So he had the confidence in the young team.
Yeah, he had that chance to Championship of African Nations.
Yes. You know, so Milo took that risk, you know, because he felt like that team fit his system well. Like everything was working for him well.
Yeah.
So he thought there was no need to bring more experienced players. He decided to bring few of them to add to the AFCON team. Yeah. And going there, we had a very, very good training camp. You know, the friendly games was good. And then Kevin Prince Boateng also joined. Yeah. You know, in the initial stages, Kevin wasn't the starter. Yeah. You know, he came because he was doing so well, and we knew Kevin. Played in Tottenham, and we respected him so much. So when he came, he also jumped into the team with the chemistry. He's a very fast learner. Yeah. You know, he studied us, and he also came into the team. I think the first game he didn't play, and then the game against Latvia, that was our last friendly game.
The one in Milton Keynes.
Milton Keynes. Yes. The coach decided to play me and him, you know, playing behind, and then because he liked to play like a lone striker, you know, so he plays Kojo Asamoah supporting me up front, you know, so he did that team, and it was one of the best games. And Kevin fit into the team; he played wonderfully well. Yeah. So I think that game was how the coach brought his squad. You know, he built that squad in that Latvia setup. Yeah, and everything was history. We did so well.
Kevin said that when he first came to the national team, he saw you play. So you boys, he thought we are going to lose every game. Why are they always singing and dancing? I want the German approach. And then he says when you guys got on the field, everything changed. Was that a deliberate part of the culture, or that was a way of keeping you guys relaxed? Because he said you could be singing one moment. He even said he was wondering, Asamoah, I see a professional dancer, and then everything changed. Is that a way by which you try to keep everybody nice, calm, and easy, beat down the tension before it starts?
Yes. You know, our culture. I remember, like during our course time or the intercourt time. You know, we used to see all these things. You know, sometimes you are playing against opponent that you feel like you're very, very nervous. You are scared. You have to just do your Jama thing to face them. You know, Takashi thing. You know, so I invented this thing into the Black Stars. I brought it into the national team. We were going to play against South Africa, and they were singing their songs.
Was it a game in Johannesburg?
Johannesburg. So, so that was how everything started. So when Kevin came, he was just a quiet guy. He was just trying to adapt to the culture. You know, I remember he saw me and he liked the way. I remember I said, do you know me? He said, of course, I know you from 2006. I came with my father. I was always at the stadium with my father. Yeah. So I thought he didn't know me personally. Yeah. You know, so when we started the dancing thing and then he said those things, I was saying in my mind, this guy, he doesn't know the culture. He will get involved too.
And then when you scored against, was it Serbia or Australia? He was dancing by you.
Yes. And he's a very good dancer. Very, very good dancer. He has the Ghanaian blood in him. He's a fast learner. So he felt into, like, the chemistry it got into the team that easily. Yeah. Because he had the talent. And the culture was the one that he wasn't able to. But just in the second, sometimes he even sang the Ghanaian song. Yeah. You know, but on a game day, he's always very, very nervous.
In his zone.
In his zone.